Good evening. Welcome to the 18th annual Riverside Township Radio Players Christmas Show. I am John Gelsomino. Thank you for coming. And I am directing this year's two holiday shows. Tonight we'll be presenting two shows that hopefully will get you in the holiday spirit. Hopefully the snow that's coming down outside is doing that for you as well. First up, we present a My Friend Irma program from 1950 called Irma's Christmas Party. And we will follow that up with a radio show that was only on the air for one season, but it featured a really big Hollywood name, and that is The Six Shooter, and it starred James Stewart. My Friend Irma was created by writer, director, and producer Cy Howard, and it was a top-rated radio situation comedy. It was actually so popular in the late 1940s that it spun success on television, film, and even comics, as well as obviously with radio. Marie Wilson portrayed the title character on both radio and the films. The radio series was broadcast on CBS from 1947 to 1954. So let's go back to Christmas Day, 1950. Irma wants to throw a Christmas party, but everybody is busy. Let's see what happens on My Friend Irma.
Lever Brothers Company, makers of Swan, the soap that gives you wonderful new kinds of suds, presents
Our Friend Swan.
My Friend Irma.
Starring Marie Wilson as Irma and Kathy Lewis as Jane.
Well, Christmas is over, and I'm thankful I'm still in one piece. Why do I say that? Let me tell you what happened Christmas Eve at our little apartment at 8224 West 73rd Street in New York City. All was serene and quiet, except for my roommate, Irma Peterson, who was reading.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house not a creature was stirring. Oh, look, Jane, a mouse!
Now, don't get excited. It's lost. It's probably looking for Professor Kropotkin's room.
Gee, Jane, I've never been so happy on Christmas Eve, and that's because I have such wonderful friends. You, Richard, Miss O'Reilly, Professor Kropotkin, and of course, Al.
Oh, by all means, Al.
Of course, I can't really consider Al a friend, because someday I'm going to marry him.
That's logical.
Jane, you don't know what it means to have a few good friends you can count on, especially on Christmas Eve, when you'd like to be with your family, but mine lives over 1,500 miles from here.
Irma, you never say much about your family.
Oh, Jane, there isn't much to say. They're just an average family, just like me. Well, perfectly normal people. Well, for instance, there's Bertha Peterson, my younger sister. Oh, she's not as old as I am.
It figures.
And there's my brother, Ernie Peterson. He's engaged. Oh, to be married, of course.
Of course. What about your parents?
Oh, I miss them the most. They were just like a mother and father to me.
You know, that happens in most families, Irma.
But gee, they're all in Minnesota, and I'm here. But I'm not lonesome because I'm surrounded by good friends. And Jane, I really appreciate them. And that's why I'm giving a Christmas Eve surprise party tonight for you, Richard, Professor Kropotkin, Miss O'Reilly, and Al.
Tonight? Oh, Irma, honey, I don't know how to tell you.
Well, tell me what?
Well, dear, excuse me, honey. Hello? Oh, hello, Richard. What? Yes, I know it's formal. No, I've never been to the Long Island Country Club. Yes, I'm terribly excited. It'll be our first Christmas Eve together since we were kids. I'll be ready. Goodbye, dear.
Jane, you mean you're going out tonight with Richard? What about my Christmas Eve party?
But honey, you didn't say anything about it, and Richard invited me to a Christmas party at the country club. I'd hate to miss it. All of his friends in show business will be there.
But this is Christmas Eve, and I thought tonight we'd be together. Well, Christmas Eve isn't like other holidays, you know.
No, I realize that, honey.
But I could understand if it was Independence Day. Then we wouldn't have to be together. We could be independent.
Oh, honey, I'm terribly sorry. But there's nothing I can do about it now. Richard asked me last week. Anyway, my not being here shouldn't spoil your party. You'll still have Professor Kropotkin, Mrs. O'Reilly, and Al.
Oh, I understand, Jane. I still have the others.
Come in.
It's only me, Professor Kropotkin. How are my two little Christmas trees? One full grown and one a little sapling.
Why, Professor.
Excuse me, a little Yuletide joke. By the way, girls, a Merry Christmas to you both.
Merry Christmas to you, too.
Merry Christmas, Professor.
I hope you'll excuse me for coming down. I don't mean to interrupt, but I wasn't feeling so good. And when I don't feel so good, I always rush out of my room as fast as I can.
Why?
I wouldn't be caught dead in that place. Well, girls, do you realize tonight's Christmas Eve?
Yes, and just look at that blanket of snow outside. Isn't it lovely?
That's a matter of opinion. If Mrs. O'Reilly doesn't put glass in my windows, not only will I have a blanket of snow, but I'll have a carpet of the same material.
Irma, you'd better ask the professor about this evening before it's too late.
Oh, yes. Professor, will you come to my Christmas Eve party tonight?
Tonight? Oh, Irma, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you mean you can't come either?
It can't be helped, Irma. Tonight I'm playing my fiddle at the Gypsy Tea Room. I've been practicing all day.
Oh, that's terrible.
I know, but they pay me for it.
Oh, gee, first Jane disappoints me and now you.
Oh, look, honey, the professor can't help it. He must earn a living. After all, you'll still have Mrs. O'Reilly and maybe the Martins upstairs. And of course, there's Al. Come in.
Hello, everybody. Merry Christmas.
And the same to you, Mrs. O'Reilly.
Merry Christmas.
Say, Mrs. O'Reilly, that's a beautiful wreath you got on your door downstairs. But that sign in the middle of it.
You don't like it?
Merry Christmas, lots of cheer. Remember the landlady or you'll freeze next year. To me, it's not a sentimental thought.
Oh, Mrs. O'Reilly, I'm giving a big surprise Christmas Eve party tonight for you and Al, and will you come?
Tonight? Oh, Irma, darling, I'm so sorry.
Oh, you mean you're busy too?
Yes, the Martins have invited me to go to Jersey with them. And since they owe me 4 months back rent, I can't afford to let them get on a train by themselves.
Oh, this is awful. First Jane turned me down, then the professor, and now
Maybe
you.
next year, Irma. Merry Christmas. Goodbye.
Oh, Jane.
Oh, sweetie. Now, stop crying. I know you're disappointed, but you should have told us about your party earlier. And besides, you won't be left alone. You won't be left alone at all. You bought some food, didn't you?
What do you mean? Of course I bought some food.
Then Al will show up. I'll guarantee it.
Speaking of food, I think I'll go up to my room and have dinner.
Are you cooking, Professor?
No, I take one look at that dump, I sit down and eat my heart out. Merry Christmas, girls. and I'm sorry, Irma.
Honey, I'm sorry things turned out this way for you.
That's all right, Jane. This is one way of finding out who my real friends are. They're Al, every one of them.
Come in.
Hello, Jane. Hello, Chicken. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, Al.
Merry, Merry, Merry Christmas to you, Al. I'm so glad to see you.
Ah, same here, Chicken. I'm glad to see you, too. Do you mind if I warm my hands on the radiator?
Oh, of course not, honey. How did they get so cold?
Well, I wanted to take the crosstown trolley, but with all that snow on the ground, it took me 4 hours to find a transfer.
Oh, that's too bad. And your poor face, it's so red.
Red face. Well, that ain't from the cold, Chicken. They caught me with yesterday's transfer.
Oh, my goodness, look at the time. Richard's going to pick me up in an hour, and I'm not even dressed yet. Aren't you going to take your top coat off, Al?
Thanks, Jane, but I'm not staying. Just came to wish Chicken a Merry Christmas. I gotta be on my way. Got a big deal brewing.
Oh, Al.
Oh, Chicken, it's important.
Oh, you and your deals.
Oh, business is business, Chicken. I gotta be running along.
But I'll be left all alone on Christmas Eve, and Al, I depended on you, my own boyfriend.
Chicken, if I could only explain.
Oh, don't bother. None of you must think very much of me if you can leave me alone on Christmas Eve. Fine friends I have. Goodbye.
Well, how do you like that?
Al? Of all the low-down, contemptible, good-for-nothing...
Now, hold it, Jane. I won't have you talking those things about the girl I love.
I'm not talking about Irma, I mean you. How could you desert her Christmas Eve of all nights? Me, I have to go out with Richard, but you're Irma's only boyfriend.
Jane, I love Irma. And when a man is in love, he's not responsible. He may do strange things. Things he would never do in his right mind.
What are you talking about?
Well, I went and got a job.
You? Got a job? Al, have you been drinking?
Yeah, I knew it would shock you. But, got to make a little dough and buy Chicken a present.
Well, I apologize, Al. I'm sorry I yelled at you.
It's all right.
Listen, Al, the Christmas carolers.
Gee, that's pretty. I'd like to stay, but I gotta just start the job tonight. Tell Irma I'll see her tomorrow. Goodbye.
Hello? Who is this?
It's me, Richard. Jane.
Jane? What's wrong? You sound terrible.
Richard, I can't go with you to the Christmas dance.
Why not? Are you sick, Jane?
No, Richard, I'm all right. It's just that, well, Irma, you see, well, Irma hasn't any family or relatives in New York, and this Christmas Eve, all our friends seem to be busy, and I just couldn't leave her alone, Richard.
Oh, I wouldn't want you to.
Are you sure you mean that, Richard?
Sure, honey, I understand. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Goodbye and Merry Christmas, Jane.
Merry Christmas, Richard. Al, I thought you left.
Came back for my hat. Didn't mean to eavesdrop, Jane, but if you're willing to give up a good time tonight for Irma, I guess it's my duty to be with Chicken too.
Oh, Al, that would be just wonderful. But what about the present you were going to get for Irma? If you don't work tonight, where will you get the money for it?
Gonna hack my watch.
But Al, that's the only thing you own, and you know that no matter how bad times have been, you have always said you'd never hock your watch.
Well, a man like me don't need a watch. I sleep all day, so time's not important. And at night, it's too late to do anything.
Come in. Oh, it's you, Professor.
Excuse me, Jane. I've been thinking about poor little Irma, and well, I decided to give up the job so tonight I could be with Irma.
But, Professor, won't that cost you money? You get big tips during Christmas.
On Christmas Eve, it's not important to take money. It's important to be with friends. After all, what's money?
Well, it's pretty important.
I see you've been talking to Mrs. O'Reilly again. No, my little Irma has no father in New York, so tonight Professor Kropotkin will be her father.
Attaboy, Pop.
Listen now, at the first chance I get, I'm going to disinherit you.
Excuse me, everybody. I took the liberty of walking in.
Why, Mrs. O'Reilly, I thought you were on your way to your parents.
I changed my mind. I got to thinking about poor little Irma being all alone tonight, and I just didn't have the heart to go. I'm going to stay here with Irma.
Isn't that wonderful? Professor Kropotkin just said that he's going to be her father.
I'll tell you, if that's the case, I'll be her mother.
I've got news for you. If you're the mother, I'll be on the train for Reno in the morning.
Listen, everybody, I've got a wonderful idea. Irma was going to throw a surprise party for us. Now we'll throw one for her. We'll give her the best Christmas a girl ever had.
Swell. I'll go out and hock my watch and buy the present.
I'll go get my violin.
We can have the party in my apartment. It's bigger. Come along, Janie. We'll start decorating. Oh, it'll be a Merry Christmas. Come on, Professor, take me arm.
A fair throp. She's been taking my blood all year.
Oh, wait until Irma finds out. She'll be the happiest girl in New York.
All aboard! Syracuse, Rochester, Albany, Cleveland, Chicago. Next. Where to, miss?
Oh, please, miss. What is the fare to Minneapolis?
$58 round trip.
$58? Oh, I only have 6. Where can I go for $6?
$6. Oh, let me see. How about Niagara Falls?
Oh, I couldn't go to Niagara Falls. I'm not even married. Oh, I'll find some other place to go. Merry Christmas.
Well, we're all down in Mrs. O'Reilly's room, the professor, Al, and myself. We're setting a table, and Mrs. O'Reilly is outside trying to find a Christmas tree. Irma's probably walking around the block, and when we're all set to surprise her, we'll send Al out to find her. Right now, Al is beaming from, well, come January 1st, he will have completed a solid 6 years of steady unemployment. Professor Kropotkin seems to be getting used to Mrs. O'Reilly's quarters.
My, she lived like a queen, and I live like a dog.
Now, Professor, I know you and Mrs. O'Reilly have had some differences in the past, but now this is Christmas Eve, and I want all of that to be forgotten. You know, she's really a warm-hearted person. Look at all the trouble she has gone through. She's even put mistletoe on the ceiling.
Well, she's wasting her time. I wouldn't kiss her if though she were calling my rent.
Quiet. She's coming down the hall.
Oh, my aching feet. I've walked all over, and I can't find a Christmas tree.
Did you see Irma anywhere in the neighborhood?
No, I didn't, but it's nothing to worry about. We must get the tree before she gets back.
Tree? There's only one man who can help us.
Who, Al?
Who else but... hello, Joe? Al, got a problem. Need a Christmas tree right away. What? I can get one at Macy's already trimmed for a dime? Oh, the dime is for a glass cutter. The tree is in the window. No, Joe. This is Christmas Eve. When I hear jingle bells, I don't want them on a patrol wagon. What, Joe? You're playing Santa Claus tonight? Going down a chimney? Joe, this is quite a change for you, isn't it? Oh, you're going in with an empty bag and coming out with a full one. Well, Joe, nothing I can say except good luck and Merry Christmas.
Oh, Al, what are we going to do? It's getting so late. That must be Irma. Let's all surprise her. Stand over there. Let's put out all the lights and give her a big kiss.
Come in.
Merry Christmas, honey.
Here's one for me.
Me too, my darling daughter.
For Pete's sakes, will someone please pull out the lights?
Richard!
I thought Irma needed a shave.
Richard, I didn't expect you. I thought you went to the club.
I couldn't take it. Same old crowd, same old monotony. So I realized that I'd rather be here with real people on Christmas Eve. Where's Irma?
Well, she thought we were all deserting her, so she went out in a huff. That's why we're throwing a surprise party for her, and we're waiting for her to come back.
We don't want to find Irma until we get a Christmas tree. Got any ideas, Richard?
Why don't we go out and buy one?
Nice gesture, Richard. We'll wait here for you.
Oh, Richard, you don't have to.
That's my pleasure, Jane. I saw several on the way over. I'll have one in a few minutes. Be right back.
And I'll get the cake out of the oven.
And I'll make some punch.
And I'll tell you when it's right.
You know, it's so wonderful having everyone pitch in. Richard's getting a tree, and all of you giving up things. Oh, this is the most wonderful Christmas I ever had.
Yeah, look, lady, this is your third round trip on this ferry boat. Ain't you got a home? Ain't you got any friends?
No.
Oh, well, take my advice. Make some.
All right, I'll try. Thank you, and a Merry Christmas to you.
Jingle bells, jingle all the way.
Sleigh!
What fun it is to ride
On a sleigh!
on one horse. Hey, hold it, fellas. Hey, look, lady. We're Christmas carolers. We don't do this for a living, but we enjoy it. And we rehearse a great deal. We don't mind you joining us, but could you have the sleigh come after the horse?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Okay, fellas, let's do it again. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride.
When the horse comes after the sleigh!
Look, lady, would you mind running along?
Oh, all right. I was just lonely. Merry Christmas.
Pardon me, lady, have you got a dime for a cup of coffee?
Oh, yes, poor man. And a Merry Christmas. Maybe you ought to have another dime for a donut.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, dear, I don't have any change.
Would you like me to break that 5 for you?
Oh, if you don't mind. Are you all alone in New York, too?
Yeah, how about you?
Oh, I'm from Minnesota.
Well, Minnesota. Well, I know that place. You know, you look very familiar.
I do? Oh, my name is Peterson.
Oh, of course. You're Peterson's little daughter.
My father's name is George.
Oh, yeah, let me think. Peterson. Well, say, that must be George Peterson.
Oh, how did you know?
Oh, I remember you used to live in
Minneapolis.
Oh, yeah, let me see. George Peterson, Minneapolis. That's the place. Never forget a name.
Well, it's so nice to meet old friends, especially when you're lonely. Well, you can keep the $5, sir.
Well, thank you, but this is only a loan. I'll return it the next time I see your father. Good old Fred Petersburg in Wisconsin. Goodbye.
Oh, no. It's Peterson in Minnesota. Oh, mister.
Al, we've walked for miles. Perhaps we'd better go home and call the police to look for Irma.
Maybe you're right, Jane.
You pardon me, bud. You got a dime for... Oh, Al, it's you. You got that quarter you owe me?
Bugsy, isn't you got no character? How can you panhandle on Christmas Eve?
Oh, great pickings tonight. Just got a fin from a blonde. Told her I knew her old man, Peterville, Peterson in Minnesota.
Peterson? Al!
Bugsy, which way did she go?
Across town, you know her?
Why? What's the difference?
I've been feeling like a crumb ever since I clipped her. Seemed like such a nice kid. Would you give her back this fin? Thanks, and Merry Christmas. Hey, bud, you got a dime for a cup of coffee?
Come on, Al. Al, let's go home and call the police. I'm really getting panicky.
All right, Jane, I'm with you.
Look, lady, I seen that picture, Mildred Pierce. Now you get off that bridge.
Oh, I was just looking at the water, Mr. Watchman.
Look, lady, don't look down there. Everything that's beautiful is up here. It's Christmas Eve, you know.
Yes, I know, and I'm so lonely.
I get it. You're all alone, huh?
Yes.
Any friends?
Yes, but my closest friends are far away.
Don't cry, sister. You're coming home with me. We ain't got much, but we're happy to share it.
Hey, Bill.
Yes, Sergeant?
Do you happen to see a blonde girl? Say, lady, what's your name?
Irma Peterson.
That's all we want to know. Come along, sister.
I didn't do it.
Didn't do what?
Well, I don't know, but my boyfriend always says to say you didn't do it.
Now look, Jamie, we've got to be brave. Now it's up to the police. They'll find her. But we've got to take our minds off of it. Mrs. O'Reilly, would you like to dance?
Oh, I'd love to.
Al, dance with her. I'll play the fiddle. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
How do you like that? I just started playing and already the neighbors got the police here.
No, it's a squad car pulling up. I think it's Irma.
My chicken.
Oh, Al, it's Irma. The police have found her. She's coming up the stairs. Quick, turn out the lights, everybody. Come on. We can still surprise her and have the party.
Come in, dearie. Come in, dearie.
Oh, Irma, darling.
Surprise, chicken. Here's a big kiss for you.
And here's a kiss from your father.
Why, Professor?
Quick, turn on the lights. I'm dying. I just kissed Mrs. O'Reilly.
Irma, darling, Merry Christmas. Where have you been?
You're all here? Oh, I thought no one loved me and I felt so alone.
Oh, honey, don't you know that people always spend Christmas Eve with their loved ones? And you're the one we love the most.
Exactly my sentiments.
Bless my little Irma. You're like my own daughter.
Sure, chicken. I'd never leave you. I want to spend all my Christmas Eves with you.
Oh, this is the best Christmas a girl ever had, surrounded by her friends. Oh, it's midnight. Is that right, Al?
Wait a minute. I'll look at my watch.
Al, why are you going to the window?
Watch happens to be across the street. You're right, chicken. It's 12 o'clock. Merry Christmas, chicken.
Merry Christmas, Al. Merry Christmas, Professor Kropotkin, Ms. O'Reilly, and Richard, and Jane, and all our friends. Merry Christmas.
And as for me, my sentiments are the same as those of my friend Irma.
My Friend Irma, presented to you by Swan and other fine products of Levu Brothers Company, was produced and directed by Cy Howard. Tonight's script was written by Cy Howard. Frank Brinkman speaking.
All right, let's meet the cast of My Friend Irma. There's a lot of them. First up, doing double duty and actually just getting back from college today to help us out is Jacob Palka. He was Bugsy and the captain. Sarge was played by Herb Thompson. Marty McNulty did double duty as well, doing our sound effects and also playing Meryl. Nell Brennan was our announcer and also the watchman. Kathy Juarez was the ticket taker. Dave Sanchi played Richard. Tom Duggan was Al. Professor Kropotkin was Andre Dixon. His favorite person, Mrs. O'Reilly, was Sue Gajinski. Irma was played by Donna Amesmeyer. And Jane kept everything together. That was Ellie Babka.